Welcome everybody, I'm Fabio Viviani and this is Fabio's Kitchen, where every week I'm bringing you a simple dish made by me. On today's episode of Fabio's Kitchen, we are making seared pork chops with braised leeks and sun-dried tomato in a red wine sauce. This is a very simple dish to make, but because I like my chops kind of thick, if you know what I mean, you have to cook these for a good 8 to 10 minutes. So the first things we do is to get the chops in the pan. I'm gonna get a fairly deep pan, something like this. I'm gonna turn on medium. I'm gonna add some good olive oil. In this case, shout to my boy Jackie. This is an amazing extra virgin olive oil. Amazing. I'm gonna add that there. And I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of butter, just a touch of butter. Now, at the same time, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna season my pork chop with salt and pepper on both sides. Very important, especially when you use kosher salt or anything that is a little thicker kind of salt. It will help the caramelization process because it creates a nice crust on the outside of the pork chop. There. Now, here's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna let this there for a second until the oil gets warmer and the butter starts to melt. I'm gonna turn on the other pan here on medium high. I'm gonna get some butter in the pan. I'm gonna get some garlic. And I'm gonna get a little bit more of olive oil. It's important. Butter and olive oil gives things a better caramelization, guys. Much better. Now, I'm gonna add my chops to the pan over here. Look at this. Now, if you look at this, I made some incision. You see that? You see the incision? I made some incision because prevent the chops from curl, because the tendon and the fat, when you cook it, reduces and shrinks. By making cuts, you keep your pork chop. Just dropped my pork chop. You keep your pork chop from shrinking. So we get that there now. In this pan, I have butter, I have oil, and I have garlic. Now I'm gonna add leeks to it. I got some leeks and I cut them in round. They're just round circle, big leeks, shave them off. Don't use the green part. The darker the green, the bitter the leeks, right? So don't do that. And then I have some dried tomato here, which I'm gonna wait. Now it's a waiting game. It really is. You need high fire underneath your leeks, and you need medium-high fire underneath your chop. If the fire is too high under the chops, they will caramelize on the outside, but they will still be raw in the middle. It's a process, right? And if you see here, the butter starting to get nice and brown, and when I will flip my chops, I'm gonna put a lid on it. So it creates not a steam chamber, but it creates a more inclusive cooking kind of atmosphere there. Now, I'm gonna flip the chops in literally 1 minute, and then it's a waiting game for another fuse. All right, let's see how the chops are performing here. See that? You got a nice caramelization on it. And now we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna put a lid on it. Yeah. Now the chops are caramelizing. I'm gonna put a lid on it. Now, my leeks are getting translucent. They're not caramelized, they're not brown, but they're getting wilted. They are losing the firmness. Nick, is firmness a word?
Sure, that works.
Works? Yeah. The firmness of a raw leek. You see how they're softer now? Now it's time for sun-dried tomato. Now, if you want to make your own sun-dried tomato, it's very easy. You just gotta cut tomato in quarter, usually like Roma tomato in quarter, seed them, drizzle with olive oil, season with salt and pepper, and leave them in the oven at 325 overnight, at least 8 to 10 hours. If you don't want to do it, there are good brands out there of sun-dried tomato, and this is actually a canned sun-dried tomato that I can stand behind. Put it there. Now, we literally have to let this cook for a few minutes, 3-4 minutes, and sew the pork chop, and then we're done. Literally, guys, you want to let your leeks and sun-dried tomato caramelize a little bit. Just like that. Then you turn on the fire off, completely on again, actually, not off. You get an amazing red wine. Fatty Pope. Shout to my boys, Fabio Viviani Wine Collection, Fatty Pope. Delicious! Now, usually, I would tell you to use shitty wine for cooking because it evaporates, but since I have to sell a lot of these, you might as well use these for cooking and drinking. Now, once that is reduced, the pork will be pretty much ready. Let's check the pork actually. Look, here's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna get these in the back and these in the front. I'm gonna hide the fire on the back, a little higher, a little lower. It's important to understand the cooking process of the pork chop in a pan. Some people will roast them. I like them in the pan because of this, look. This is what happens when you cook pork chop in the pan. They get a better caramelization than you'll ever get into an oven. Look at this thing. And here's what we got for you now. This will blow your mind. We are reducing the leeks, and we are reducing that. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get a little bit of wine, not because I wanna sell more, but because this is good to deglaze the pan with it. Check this out. And let it there. Turn it off. Off completely. That's off. And here's what we're gonna do now. Look. We're gonna let that steam with a little bit of the wine vapor, and you need to let your pork rest because pork is not the kind of meat that you wanna eat medium rare. You wanna eat a medium well. And if it's good pork, then you're gonna be fine because it's not gonna be dry. Now this is creating an amazing concoction on top of it. This is amazing, look at that. We gotta let it rest. By the time that this is reduced, in literally 2 minutes, the dish is gonna be done. All right, guys, now check this out, what we gotta do here. Here's what we got. We got pork. I'm gonna get the pork perfectly cooked. I'm gonna place it here. I'm gonna place it here. You see all this juice? Look at that. See that? You know what that is? It's flavor. Get it there. And now here's what we got, guys. We got an amazing pork chops. Got a delicious pork chop with braised leeks and sun-dried tomato that takes no time to do on your stove. Less than 10 minutes, guys. Here you go. Booyah. Hey guys, since you have been watching and hopefully enjoy it, please share these with your friends and family. Come on, help me put my kids through college.